Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Cowboys star named under the radar MVP candidate. Few defensive players have the ability to impact a game quite like Dallas Cowboys pass rusher Micah Parsons. As the Seattle Seahawks found out in their Week 13 loss to the Cowboys, on a pivotal fourth down with the game on the line, Parsons can alter the outcome on a single play. Through the first 14 games of the season, Parsons is on track to set a new career high in sacks, already tallying 12.5. Pro Football Focus credits Parsons with 89 total pressures en route to an elite 92.4 overall grade and 93.8 pass rush mark. While Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has consistently been listed among the top MVP candidates across the league, ESPN suggests Parsons is an under-the-radar candidate to steal the award. Parsons has a 36.7% pass rush win rate, ESPN's Courtney Cronin wrote in a story published December 20. Blowing by the previous record, since 2017, held by Joey Bosa in 2017 at 33.7%. Parsons also has 61 pressures and might break his own record, also since 2017, of 74 pressures in a season. Even though the box score numbers aren't quite there, 12.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, we can't sleep on how incredible Parsons has been on a down-to-down basis. Despite the fact that Parsons is in the midst of a historic season when it comes to pressuring the quarterback, the 24-year-old faces long odds to win the MVP award. Not only are running backs Adrian Peterson, Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson and Marshall Faulk the only non-quarterbacks to win the award since the turn of the century, but a defender hasn't been named MVP since Lawrence Taylor took home the award in 1986. Nevertheless, Parsons likely has the best chance of any defensive player to break the 37-year drought. Parsons has a fan in Miami Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, who's tasked with attempting to neutralize Parsons in Week 16. He is one of the best players in the National Football League at any position. And I don't think it's really debatable, McDaniel told reporters on December 20. This dude is different. And the orchestration that he has with his teammates, the stuff that coach, Dan Quinn does with the multiplicity of his alignments, and you can tell that not only is he unique in skill set, but you don't play all the way across the line, and in the stack, and do all the thing the does without having a true love for the game. Part of what makes Parsons a matchup nightmare for opposing offenses is his ability to be disruptive regardless of where he lines up. He's more fun to watch when you're not going to play him, McDaniel added. But that being said, I like the challenge of facing elite players, like our players do. And it's really cool to watch, because you combine talent with strength. That's rarefied air, in general, with the level of talent and the level of strength that he exhibits. He is a real dude, for sure. The Cowboys' effort to retaining their edge over the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East race starts with shutting down the Dolphins' explosive offense. Even though receivers Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are two of the more prolific wide receivers in the league, Dallas' chances of pulling off a Christmas Eve victory starts by winning up front, according to Cowboys cornerback Stephon Gilmore. Just play with great technique, trust your teammates, and be physical, Gilmore told reporters on December 21. That's really what it come down to, winning the line of scrimmage and playing physical. Science Lab, here's why Cowboys have road woes. It's one thing to enjoy home cooking, which is something the Dallas Cowboys have done better than any other team in the entire NFL as of late, but the problem is they're sprinkling rat poison in their own pasta when trying to dine at someone else's table. No team in the league is as dominant at home as the Cowboys, who currently own a 15-game win streak, the longest in 42 years, and own a cosmically charged point differential of 279 to 108, plus 171. On the road, however, that point differential flips massively to 152 to 156, minus 4, and their home record of 7-0 flips to 3-4 on the season. Dr. Jekyll, meet Mr. Hyde. Is there a reason for this split personality in the Cowboys this season? Of course there is. And with the turbocharged Dolphins up next in Miami, now's the time to both identify it and to fix it. There's just too big of a gap on our road games. Mike McCarthy. This is a very big problem, folks. If you didn't watch the embarrassing loss against the Buffalo Bills and simply scanned the stat line and box score, little would point you toward penalties being a reason the Cowboys got handed a 21-point loss in Orchard Park. After all, Mike McCarthy's bunch suffered only 5 accepted penalties in that contest, one of their lowest marks of the season for Dallas. What you need to understand is that when it comes to penalties, however, I'll always stick to my rule of type and timing. In other words, what was the penalty and at what point in the game did it occur? Was it a false start whilst enjoying a 20-point lead late in the fourth quarter, or was it a false start on a possible game-winning drive, first and goal from the opponent's 6-yard line? One of those is fairly innocuous, but the other helped cost the Cowboys a game. Type and timing matters. Of course, the Bills having suffered only one penalty is as laughable as it is impossible when dissecting the film. Various uncalled infractions, e.g., holding, illegal contact downfield, etc., but the quality of officiating at this point is not going to improve, so control what you can control. That brings us to Sunday evening in Buffalo, when 4 of the 5 penalties handed to the Cowboys decided the game, and before halftime. 3 personal fouls spotted the Bills a total of 18 points to lift them to a 21-point first half, while a holding penalty on Dallas' first drive turned a quality drive, the overthrow to Brandon Cooks notwithstanding, into nothing more than a punt. Speaking of, Brian Anger went from having only 1 punt in his previous 2 games to 5 in Buffalo, but I'll explain why that was the case here shortly. Stick with me on the penalties for now though, thanks. The type and timing of the flags in Buffalo buried the Cowboys, including Zach Martin drawing an unnecessary roughness penalty after a 13-yard scramble by Dak Prescott on 3rd and 6, on the first drive that also featured the aforementioned holding call on Tyler Smith, that deleted a would-be 15-yard unnecessary roughness call against Taylor Rapp for his hit on Prescott, the 2 penalties offsetting. Along with the penalty on Smith, that's a 25-yard bullet the Cowboys were forced to bite. And I'll be clear in that I love, adore, even an offensive lineman protecting his quarterback, but do so in the realm of understanding the situation at hand, and the environment, and that goes to controlling what you can control. By now, you're wondering how the Cowboys fare overall in penalties, aren't you? Of course you are, as you should be. 3 hidden gem free agents the Dallas Cowboys can still hire. Finally, we look at a running back the Dallas Cowboys could bring in. Enter Caleb Huntley, an unsung hero of the Atlanta Falcons' dominant offense last season. He wasn't the main guy by any means, but he still got a fair share of the work. Huntley rushed 76 times for 366 yards, an average of 4.8 yards per carry, while 18 of those runs went for first down. These types of percentages and positive plays are why he was able to earn such an impressive 86.9 overall grade last season via Pro Football Focus. If Huntley were to be signed by the Dallas Cowboys, he would immediately become a hot option, and would also put pressure on the former 4th-round pick to step up if he truly wants a bigger role in the future. Caleb Jared Huntley, born September 15, 1998, is an American football running back who is a free agent. He played college football at Ball State and was signed by the Falcons as an undrafted free agent in 2021. Huntley was born on September 15, 1998, and grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. He attended Locust Grove High School and was a 4-year letterman. He played 4 seasons as a varsity football player at running back and finished his career with 3,135 yards and 30 touchdowns. As a senior in 2016, he ran for 1,487 yards and scored 13 touchdowns, earning Region 4/5A Offensive Player of the Year honors. He recorded more than 100 rushing yards in every game of the 2016 season, and holds the single-season rushing record and rushing yards per game record at Locust Grove. He was a 3-star recruit according to 247 Sports. Huntley had committed to Western Kentucky, but they decided not to have him on the team as a result of poor grades in high school. He instead signed with Ball State. As a freshman in 2017, he appeared in all 12 games and started the concluding 7, recording 1,003 rushing yards on 210 attempts, both leading the team. And you fan, What do you think of the Caleb Huntley situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.